Okay, now we are going to learn about the last step, children, that is testing, release and commercialization of the new cultivar. Okay, now we selected the new superior recombinant from the parents, okay, from the offspring after cross hybridization. Now it has to be distributed to different institutes for the trial, for testing, and actually this testing is carried in the scientific institutes, organizations or institutes like ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, which is located at New Delhi. And at this place, the sampling of hybrids which are developed are distributed, and they are grown by giving all the ideal supply of fertilizer and irrigation. By providing ideal supply of fertilizer and irrigation, and observe the performance of the new cultivar with a scientific approach. And not only in the scientific institutes, these sampling seeds are distributed to different agronomical climatic conditions. So these seeds are distributed to different areas, different farming areas, means to different farmers, to subject for different agronomical climatic conditions. So after the testing trials in the scientific institutes, these seeds are distributed to different farming lands, to different farmers, to observe its performance under different agronomical climatic conditions. And there, for minimum 3 generations, 3 seasons, they observe the performance of this crop, and the production of this crop is always compared to the already existing crop in that areas, which is called as a local check or referral crop So the performance of the new cultivar is always compared to the performance of already existing local crop in that areas, which is considered as check or referral crop, right. So after its performance is proved best than the local or referral crop, then it is given certificate by National Seed Corporation. So once it is proved best when compared to the local crop in that given farming land with different agronomical climatic conditions, then these hybrid seeds are given the certification. Hybrid seeds are given certification by NSC, National Seed Corporation. National Seed Corporation will give the certificate for these hybrid seeds as a good variety, and now they release this seed into the markets for the commercialization purpose. So all these are steps of the plant breeding program, children, till now we learn. In the next session we are going to learn about the topic that is plant breeding for disease resistance. Okay? Okay children, now we are going to learn about what are the achievements because of Green Revolution, where we developed the improved varieties by plant breeding program. Okay, so before going to learn, let us see our India, the main profession in our country is agriculture. So India is mainly relies on agriculture. So main profession in our country is agriculture. Because of agriculture, there is a 33%, it is estimated that 33% GDP, that is gross domestic product of our country is because of agriculture only. And similarly, it gives employment for approximately 62% of population. It employs about 62% of total population in our country. So in such country, after independence, a great famine condition happened because of lack of proper food for the people. In order to solve this problem, many scientists throughout the country that strived to improve the production of the crops in the existing land, because we cannot increase the land for cultivation, it is not possible. Then how to improve the production means by producing the short duration varieties which are developed by plant breeding programs. So it ultimately resulted in the midst of 1960s. Then if this phase is called as Green Revolution. The phase in the midst of 1960 is called as Green Revolution, which ultimately resulted in the tremendous enhancement in the production of the major food crops like wheat, rice, maize, etc. Because of using the improved varieties of these food crops, a tremendous increase is there. It is not only satisfying the national requirements in supplying the food, and from that time our country had also started exporting the grains to the other countries. Let us see how it is happened and what are the enhancement in the production of wheat and rice. Let us see first in the wheat and rice. Okay, so during the years between 1960 to 2000 years, in between this period, enhancement in the production of wheat, rice is happened because of Green Revolution. Production of wheat is enhanced from 11 million tons to 75 million tons. Similarly, production of rice has been improved from 35 million tons to 89.5 million tons. How it has happened means because of the production of semi-dwarf varieties of these crops. Semi-dwarf varieties. So, production of semi-dwarf varieties by plant breeding program. Semi-dwarf means short varieties whose lifespan is reduced to half of the original crop, so that in the same land we can produce 2 crops. That means we are not here increasing the land area, we are increasing the production by growing 2 crops in the same land area in the same season. That is the enhancement in the Green Revolution, which is possible by the production of the semi-dwarf varieties of wheat and rice. Then who contributed for the production of these semi-dwarf varieties means, here we have to recollect the contribution of Norman E. Borlaug. Here we have to recollect, children, about Norman E. Borlaug. He is the director of International Crop Improvement Research Program for wheat and maize. He developed semi-dwarf and high yielding varieties of wheat by name Sonora 63, Sonora 64, Lerma Rosso 64, etc. Like that, he developed in his country to solve the problem of famine conditions, like Sonora 63, Sonora 64, Lerma Rosso 64. These are short varieties, resistant to local pathogens, and they can use the ideal fertilizers and produce more yield. And all these characters are present in the semi-dwarf varieties of wheat which are produced by the Mexican scientist Norman E. Borlaug. And our Indian scientist by MS, already we discussed about MS Swaminathan. He imported these Mexican varieties to our country. So, MS Swaminathan, he collaborated with Norman E. Borlaug and he imported these Mexican varieties into our country and modified them, because these plants are not our native plants, they cannot survive in our climatic conditions and they should be modified. MS Swaminathan, because of his ability on genetics and radiation research, by exposing these varieties, Mexican varieties, to the gamma rays, they developed the high yielding and semi-dwarf varieties like Sonalika and Kalyan Sona. Sonalika and Kalyan Sona are the semi-dwarf high yielding varieties of wheat which are introduced to all the wheat growing belts in our India, thereby multiplying the production of wheat in our country tremendously from 11 million tons to 75 million tons. Okay, and what is the gene responsible for the dwarfism in the wheat is? The gene which is responsible for the dwarfism, here it is, the gene is discovered by Japanese scientists responsible for dwarfism in wheat is Norin-10. This is the gene named Norin-10 which was first discovered by Japanese scientists. Right children, remember this point, very important for the objective sake, and this Sonalika and Kalyan Sona are semi-dwarf and high yielding varieties of wheat which are introduced in all wheat growing belts in our country, which are developed by the modification of the Mexican varieties by our Indian scientist M.S. Swaminathan. And now let us see how the rice production is improved. In rice also, a dwarf gene is discovered, D-Zio-Wu-Zen. This is the gene name which is resulting in the dwarfism in the rice varieties also, rice plants also, and this gene, because of activating this gene, semi-dwarf varieties are developed in rice also in IRRI, Philippines and Taiwan variety countries. So here IR8 and IR24 are the rice varieties which are developed in IRRI, International Rice Research Institute at Philippines. International Rice Research Institute at Philippines. Similarly, Taichung Native 1. It is also a semi-dwarf varieties of rice which is developed in Taiwan. Right. And from these varieties are imported to our country by Swaminathan. Again he modified these varieties which are adaptable to our climatic conditions, and he developed semi-dwarf varieties of rice from these varieties and introduced in our country in the year 1966. And later he developed other important high yielding, semi-dwarf and better yielding varieties of rice, that are Jaya and Ratna. Jaya and Ratna, remember children, these are semi-dwarf and better yielding varieties of rice which tremendously enhance the production of rice in our country. Right. Now let us see the other important food crop, that is sugar cane. How improvement in sugar cane is brought? Two different varieties of sugar cane are cultivated in our country, one variety in South India and one variety in North India. In North India, the variety which is grown is Saccharum barbari. Similarly, South Indian variety is Saccharum officinarum. Here North Indian variety is having very thin stems and low sugar content. Thin stems with low sugar content. But the Saccharum officinarum, which is the South Indian variety, is having thick stems with high sugar content. Hence, to improve the production of sugar, the scientists have tried to cultivate this South Indian variety in North India, but Saccharum officinarum failed to adapt in the climatic conditions. It is unable to grow there. Hence, they developed a new variety by crossing these two varieties, that is Saccharum officinarum and crossed with Saccharum barbari to produce a new hybrid variety. And now this hybrid, which is developed by crossing these two South Indian, North Indian varieties, is successfully grown in the North Indian climatic conditions. Hence, the production of the sugar in the North India also improved a large. Right. And finally, we are going to learn about millets. How the hybrids are developed in the millets. So, millets means what, children? Normally, millets means these are large crops with small seeds. large crops with small seeds, especially maize, bajra, jowar, barley, all these comes under millets. And in these millets also, especially maize, bajra and jowar, new hybrid plants are developed by conventional plant breeding only. New hybrids are developed which are resistant to water stress. Resistance to water stress. Water stress comes under abiotic condition. Abiotic. So like this, all the green revolution programs by using the conventional plant breeding techniques produced many varieties in all major as well as minor crops also, thereby ultimately resulting in the enhancement in the production of the yield, right. And now we are going, children, to know about the plant breeding program to produce disease resistant varieties in the plants. Okay children, now we are going to learn about how conventional plant breeding program is useful to produce the varieties which are resistant to diseases. Here what is disease actually? A disease is a deviation from the normal behavior of any organism is called as disease. So deviation from the normal functioning. Any function, either metabolic or physical or physiological, a deviation from the normal function of an organism is called as disease. Normally the diseases are because of the pathogens. Pathogens are disease causing organisms which will cause diseases especially to plants comes under viruses, bacteria and fungi. And here the hosts are plants. Hosts are plants. So these pathogens, these are microorganisms also, and they infect the plants and deviate their normal functioning, resulting in the abnormal behavior which ultimately result in the form of some symptoms. Symptoms by which we can identify the disease. Okay, so like that, because of the diseases, there is a great loss in the crop production, crop yielding, and it was estimated approximately the loss in the crop plants because of the diseases is approximately 20 to 30% per annum. So annually the losses due to the diseases is estimated to around about 20 to 30% in the per annum. Then how these diseases, for example, what type of diseases are caused to the plants, let us see. And because of fungi, what type of diseases, for example, rust diseases of wheat, brown rust of wheat, black rust of wheat, like that rust diseases. Similarly, red rot of sugarcane also caused by a fungus Colletotrichum. Similarly, late blight of potato, it is also caused by the fungi only. So like that, many diseases are caused by the fungi to the plants which will reduce their yield and production. Then similarly, let us see some bacterial diseases. The bacterial diseases are black rot of crucifers. Similarly, citrus canker. All these are caused by the Xanthomonas species. So these are bacterial diseases. Similarly, let us see some virus diseases caused by virus. Mostly they cause mosaic virus, tobacco mosaic virus. Similarly, chili mosaic virus. So these are some examples of the diseases caused by different pathogens to the plants. And for this also, the scientists have developed some hybrid varieties which are resistant to that particular pathogen causing disease in that particular crop. How they developed these varieties? It is also by conventional plant breeding program only. It is also by conventional plant breeding program. By conventional plant breeding, by selecting a wild variety or a local variety. Obviously, you know very well the local varieties are low in yield, but they are resistant to diseases which are existing in that area. Similarly, wild varieties. Is anybody taking care of wild plants? No, but still they are growing healthy against the diseases and pests. So, by selecting those plants as donors of the genes which are giving resistance to that particular disease and cross them with the cultivated varieties which are susceptible to diseases, new varieties of the plants are developed which are resistant to that particular disease. Right children, and this process also will involve all the steps which are normally involved for the previous plant breeding program, that is selection of parents and crossing them and selection of superior recombinants and ultimately testing them. All these steps are common for any plant breeding program. By using the same steps for plant breeding for disease resistance also, they developed many plants which are resistant to diseases. Let us see some of the examples here. For example, hybrids for plant breeding examples in wheat. In wheat, Himagiri. Himagiri is a hybrid developed by conventional plant breeding program which is resistant to leaf rust and stripe rust and hill burnt. Remember, these are very useful for your objective children. You have to remember all these memory based. Similarly, in Brassica, Pusa Swarnim, or it is also called as Karan Roy. It is resistant to white rust. It is resistant to white rust. Similarly, cauliflower, Pusa Shubra or Pusa Snowball K1. It is resistant to bacterial blight. It is resistant to bacterial blight, or it is resistant to black rot or curl blight, black rot. Similarly, other examples, cowpea. Cowpea, Pusa Komal. Hybrid variety is Pusa Komal, resistant to bacterial blight. And chilies, Pusa Sadabahar. Pusa Sadabahar is a resistant variety for chili mosaic virus and tobacco mosaic virus. So, like that, these are all the hybrid varieties of different crop plants which are developed by conventional plant breeding program, and they are resistant to the so and so pathogens. This is the list, and you have to remember these, and memory based questions will come regarding this tabular form children. Right. And now let us see by mutational breeding also. Not only conventional breeding, one more program to develop the new hybrid varieties is by mutational breeding. So, by mutational breeding, mutations, you know what are mutationals? What is mutation children? A sudden change in the genetic material by exposing them to either physical mutagens or by chemical mutagens. You know, physical mutagens means radioactive rays, UV rays. All these rays will induce some changes in the genetic material which will bring about new character. Similarly, chemical mutagens like colchicine, hydroxides and other heavy chemicals are used to induce mutations. Either by physical or by chemical mutations, we can induce variations in the plants so that we can bring out new hybrids in the plants also. But there are some limitations because all the mutational programs are not desirable, and we have to expose many plants for this test. So, it is not desirable when compared to conventional breeding, but still the scientists are using to produce some new varieties. For example, in mung bean, a new variety is developed by mutational breeding which is resistant to yellow mosaic virus and powdery mildew. Yellow mosaic virus is caused by virus, by name itself you know, and powdery mildew is caused by a fungus, Erysipeae. Similarly, by mutational breeding only, MS Swaminathan have developed new varieties of wheat. By imported Mexican variety of wheat is using Sonara 64 and improved variety by exposing them to gamma rays. By exposing them to gamma rays, the Mexican varieties are modified into Sharbati Sonara. Sharbati Sonara. Similarly, Lerma Rosso 64 is modified to Pusa Lerma. Pusa Lerma. So these are the hybrids which are developed by mutational breeding children, right?